And
it was a dark and stormy night.
Yeah.
Can you believe it was like flash rain over here? Flash rain.
Yeah.
But we're floating. We have our canoe. We have hello.
Yay.
Here we are. Thank
Yeah.
you. Welcome back. All right, Vera, let's see who's joining us today. Today is going to be a very fun day.
And we're on time. Only
Yeah.
4 minutes early.
Exactly. Oh, Nana's here. Hi, Nana.
Rose.
There we are. All right. Welcome to the fun. Okay, so we wanted to start off with the fact that, because I wanted to share a little bit of your background on this topic.
Okay.
Very extensive, but I'll be quick.
Very quick.
Yes.
Because we want to talk to our guests.
Yes. So
hi, Eric.
Vera was the creator and the director of and instructor of SBHTC, Sylvia Brown's Hypnosis Training Center.
And I don't know who thought of that name.
And also you certified very many students in your time there. You've traveled internationally and to do the one-on-one hypnosis sessions
and nationally,
as well as nationwide. Your specialty is past lives and, of course, your psychic ability. And you are now booking, Vera is now booking soul journey sessions on our website, and you can book an appointment with her.
Yay.
So with that in mind, before we introduce our fabulous guest today, I just wanted to remind you that if you have a past life question that you would like to ask Vera about your past life or your past life birthmark, we have Super Chat now. So very nice to have that option. And okay, so let's jump into introducing our guest.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so Vera.
Look at that cute face.
There she is. This is Valerie. And remember when you were telling us about that we're going to have a guest that I was going to love her? You were right.
I told you.
I love her. We met her last night. Well, I met her last night briefly, and I would say just sparkling personality. Isn't she a sparkling soul?
And her daughters.
Valerie was trained by Vera, actually, at SBHTC.
And Darren and John.
After receiving her certification in hypnotherapy, she did full-time hypnosis practice for 3 years, specializing in helping clients with weight loss and changing unwanted behavior. And Valerie herself lost 30 pounds doing self-hypnosis and has kept it at that.
Valerie, what 30 pounds? You weren't even heavy.
So Valerie finds the more spiritual aspects of hypnosis, such as the past life regression aspect, to be the most memorable and rewarding, and plans to continue helping people resolve their emotional and behavioral issues in this area.
And without further ado,
here she is.
Hey,
hi,
Valerie.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. All right, this is going to be a fun day.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. So Valerie, would you like to share some of your experience of, like, first of all, what brought you to SBHTC, where you studied under Vera and learned all about hypnosis? And
well, I actually was a client myself. And Vera, I don't know if you remember, but you and Reverend T did a hypnosis session on me. And I was like a little innocent child. I came into the session because I was having these bad dreams. And I thought, oh, they're just going to hypnotize the dreams away. And then they said, oh, we think this might be related to a past life. And I was like, I don't believe in past life. And you guys are like, you don't have to believe in the past lives to see one. I said, oh, okay. So I actually went through a past life regression myself, and it totally got rid of the bad dreams. And once I did it, I was like, oh my God, I got to do this myself. It was so amazing.
Perfect.
Well, I have to say now I'm so curious. And I don't know if you feel like sharing, but did you like the past life that you discovered where your dreams were from? Is that something that you want to share or no?
I can share it. Yeah. I mean, I kept having this past life dream where I was flying in over this barn, and there was this lady who was being escorted out of the barn, and I was distressed, but I never saw anything else that would happen to the lady. I knew something was about to happen to her. And so I kept dreaming it over and over and over again. And so my girlfriend suggested that we go and see Vera and Reverend T when they came to town. And I went, and I just thought it was going to be like a simple thing. And they were just going to say, you no longer have dreams. And stuff like that. It was quite amazing. I was in the past life, I was a slave, and I had some type of a relationship with the master. And we had a child together, and his wife was very jealous of that.
I remember this now.
So she threw hot grease on my face, and I mean, it just melted my face. I was a monster. And I ended up, the slaves were mean to me. Everybody was mean to me after that. And I just got to a point where I guess it was hopeless. And so I decided to escape. And I went to the neighboring plantation to find the child that I had with the master and to escape. But it doesn't make sense to try to escape with like a 2 or 3 year old, because they just can't run and they cry. And this child was totally scared of me because I looked like a monster.
Of course.
And so anyways, I ended up escaping, and we got caught. And as they were trying to catch us, I had just made up in my mind, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to die here, and unfortunately, I actually suffocated my child because he was crying so loud, and I was trying to keep him quiet. And I just said, we're not going back. I didn't want him to experience what I had experienced.
Right, of course.
So they ended up, I killed the little boy. And it's hard to think of that I could do something like that, but then when I think about the mindset that I was in, I understand it.
Right.
And then they hung me after that. So that was what was about to happen to me.
Yeah.
Was I was about to be hung.
So no wonder you were having that dream. And that's amazing that you were able to discover that, to find out where it was coming from.
Yeah, that was
usually when it's unjustified, that's whenever it really hangs on. And then once you know what it is, you can release it and let it go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And come to terms with it. How did you come to terms with it?
Well, I had a whole lot of issues like with my neck area. And so I mean, a lot of those things have kind of been worked out. And just I'm able to, before I wasn't able to watch shows about slavery. Now I can tolerate it, but before I just couldn't even watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah.
Experience that.
It helped a lot.
Yeah. Exactly. That's awesome.
It is awesome because even
not what she experienced, but that you're able to see it and then work through it and then move on and know what's going on in this lifetime that might be affected with that.
Exactly.
She still was holding on to it because of the dreams.
Right.
Yes. I was. It was awful. So I mean, but it was released, and I think it kind of lifted a weight off of me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because there's a lot of times I have a lot of clients, I'm sure you did too, where they had to do certain things in wartime or that they would never do normally because it was, but they had to protect the other people that were around. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, it's interesting because one of your clients you were saying had invented the guillotine, but actually their soul did it out of love to put people out of their misery quicker than how it was happening at that time. So even though it might not seem like that to us later or looking at it from a different perspective, it's actually out of love and compassion. It just depends on where the person's motive, the intent is what I'm trying to say, the intent.
Yes.
Roxanne. Yeah.
Aloha.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so now Valerie, did you want to share a little bit of your experience as a hypnotherapist?
Hi, CR.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my experience came doing weight loss and working with people on their unwanted behaviors. And Vera, you said you didn't think I needed to lose weight, but I found as I was helping people, the first thing that they did is they came and they looked up and down at me like, ma'am,
Yes,
are you gonna help me lose weight?
yeah.
And I wasn't fat or anything, but I guess they just were like, this person can't help me lose weight. So I knew I needed to kind of like look the part
right.
trying to look in order to help them. So that was one of the things I learned about it, is like I really had to, be the part. If I was trying to
show
help
them what it could do. Yeah.
Yes. And so it has helped me to keep the weight off for over 10 years now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was one of the areas I worked on. And then one of the things that I really felt like helped my practice was just I always really worked with my clients to have them make some input into what we were going to actually say to them. And like I would come up with a theme for the session, but they would give me the major points. And so it really seemed to help them to be able to accept the suggestions that I was making to them. And
just a team. It was a team effort.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And they trusted it, I feel like a lot more. So because they kind of knew what was going to come. So I think that helped me. It helps me with my clients.
Yeah.
Good way to do it.
Yes.
People involved like that. It's because it's so individual for us, what works with each of us and what we resonate to.
Yeah.
It's like telling people, go to your happy place. Well, that's very unique.
Yes. Yeah, it could be unique for everybody. That's for sure.
Now, Valerie, was there any experiences with any clients that are very memorable for you that have stuck with you that you remember today that you wanted to share?
Yeah. There was one person that came in and she was having a lot of problems with success. She was told several times that she had a fear of success. She was, showing up to work late, turning in her assignments late. She was just kind of sabotaging her own career wherever she went. She'd go from one job to another. And so she wanted to see if maybe I could help her. And, she thought that she wanted me to just sort of hypnotize her. And I said, why don't we do some type of the soul life journey to see if it's connected to anything in the past? And she, of course, didn't believe in past lives, but I told her, you don't have to believe in past lives. And so she had a really successful session. We went through 2 lives. The first one, she was a woman who was very successful. It was maybe like the 1700s. And, back in those times, it was unheard of for women to be successful.
Right.
She was independent. She wasn't married. And she was very beautiful. And so she had like a flower shop or something. Wow. And a lot of the men in the town wanted to marry her. She wasn't interested because she had her own money. She didn't need to get married. And a lot of the women in town were jealous because they didn't have any independence and they had to get married. And probably a lot of them were really unhappy. Right. So she said people just tormented her in the town. They would call her a whore and a prostitute because they said, well, who else would not want to get married? Only the whores and the prostitutes in town were not married. So they lumped her into that category, and they even called her a witch. And so she realized in that life, she realized that success had a dark side, that others can bring to it. And so that was her first life. And then the second life she went through under hypnosis was she saw herself, she was standing like on a platform talking to a group of people, and she was a man, and she was a white man, and she was talking about slavery. And so she was very well respected in the town. She didn't know what her position was, but the people in the town were coming to her and they were saying, "We think slavery is wrong. Should we do it?" And she said she knew slavery was wrong, but she was greedy and she wanted the success and the money that came with it. So she told them, "Oh, no, it's not wrong because Black people are not, they don't have real feelings. They're not like us, and God doesn't see them like us. They're like animals. And so we can do what we want with them." And she knew she was lying. And what was sad about it, she said that her whole life, she just suffered with all this guilt and anguish, and she was an alcoholic.
And didn't know why. Yeah.
Yeah. And, even though she got the money that came with being a slave owner and the success, she just never enjoyed it. It was just terrible. And so I guess, looking at those two lives, you can see how she could say her cells are saying, "Hey, with success, you're going to do anything to be successful, or, bad things are going to happen to you. People are going to hate you. So don't be successful."
Yeah.
So she kind of made that full circle loop in learning about why she was doing what she was doing.
Exactly.
Wow. And see, that's what's so amazing about doing a soul journey session to discover our past lives that are affecting us now. Because that's a great example that she can release that cell memory and start fresh and new and moving forward from this point.
Because it's a been there, done that. You don't want to have to keep doing your lessons over and over, but you do unless you don't learn them.
Right.
So it's good to just get them done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I have heard from her over time, and she says she's doing very well. She's no longer late. She's getting to work on time and actually very productive and having a good career. So
good.
You're a lot.
Good. And, I just wanted to say that sometimes we learn these things from our past lives, but we have to still apply them.
Yes.
So a part of it's the learning. And then we sometimes have to remind ourselves, okay, so that we can keep applying what we've learned to where we are and keep moving forward and learn more and more. And speaking of that, I should have asked already, what is a soul journey session exactly? Just for some people that might not know.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
Well, I mean, it can be a lot of things. It basically, you're accessing your subconscious mind to see what lives are in the past or maybe in the future, or maybe even going to the other side to make a connection. Because I try to explain to my clients that it's like we're all kind of like on a continuum. We're all connected through the subconscious, and it's like the super consciousness. And so if we want to go to the other side by going through hypnosis, we can access that superconscious highway and make connections with people on the other side and whatnot. So I guess that's a explanation.
Yes, it is, definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's really just going within and getting access to your soul mind, because you have all your spiritual DNA is in there. So you have access to everything you've ever experienced.
Yes.
And your soul mind goes to where it is that you need to go to. You're not going to go anywhere that your soul is not ready to experience.
Definitely.
Great point.
Yeah, because your mother and father, God, are protecting you. You're not going to go anywhere you're not ready to go.
And I also really love that you call it a soul journey session, because it's not just a past life regression, like you just talked about, Valerie, is you can also go to the future. You can also go to the other side.
Go to current life. You could go to another planet. There's many different
Yes.
aspects that you can do.
Exactly.
Yes, I have had a lot of people that have wanted to access, time in the current life.
Mhm.
I've lost a ring, or a lot of people who are saying, I may have had something bad happen in my past as a child, and I want to see, because everyone's telling me that it didn't happen. And
Mhm.
so, getting them, letting them see that they're not crazy.
Right.
That helps them a lot
Yeah. And
sometimes.
the one thing that I found, I don't know if you have, Valerie, but the one aspect of current life, when people go to that, is the most emotional because it's so fresh and
It's
raw.
more recent.
Yeah.
And I would be the one crying. Like, oh, I'm in my favorite little pajamas. And I'd be like, okay, this is bad. I need to stop.
Exactly. Cute. See here. I know we have some comments.
Yeah.
So interesting. We make choices, but those choices always have consequences.
And they're not always bad, though.
Exactly.
Excellent. It could be fabulous consequences.
And that's what I love about having a soul journey session, is because sometimes we go to a life that we really want to pull forward, that we need to feel those strengths, that beauty that we have
it's
within
not
us.
always releasing and letting go. It's bringing forward
And
too.
I can relate to that. We might not always feel beautiful. I don't mean on the outside. I'm talking about in here. And if we can't find it in this life, even if people tell us, we can go to a past life and pull that and feel that now, because we're the same soul.
Exactly.
And that's like, it's just so beautiful. No wonder you get so excited about past lives.
I know. There was somebody in the office that always would say, I don't know why you like doing past lives, because it's so boring.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like,
Really?
oh my gosh, human beings are not boring. It's like you don't repeat the same thing over and over.
Right.
So yeah.
Yes, so many different experiences that people have had. So, and each life has, some periods where it's dull, but then there's some stuff that happens, that kind of defines the life,
Exactly, Valerie. That's like with the themes of our life that we have, and then our experiences will help us to learn our themes, which is kind of interesting. That kind of goes into the next question that we wanted to ask you about, because you had a story that you wanted to share of one of your friends, and her experience of what she's going through in this lifetime.
Yeah, well, I have a friend that is has some eating issues, and she's really losing a lot of weight, and just been through a lot of different programs to try to help her, but she's just seems to be stuck there, and unfortunately, even though she knows that I am a hypnotist, she just is not open to getting any help. And, I had mentioned to Vera before that I said, I think she has some kind of dark cloud or some kind of dark energy that is following her, because when she comes over, my dog, who never shakes uncontrollably, like, oh my God, so I'm thinking maybe something else is with her, but I don't know. What do you think about it, Vera, in terms of?
Yeah, she's bringing a lot of past life energy in with that, because I believe I told you what past life I picked up for her. Plus, it's just her energy too that's making your doggy like shake. Plus, she knows that she's ill. She's picking up on that because you mentioned to me that she's a very nice person.
Very nice.
So that's what we were trying to figure out, how to help her, but you mentioned that she's not ready for the help.
Yes, I mean, she told me, because I have been trying to get her to pray, maybe meditate, do some things for herself. And she said, you know what, I'm just going to be honest with you. I like my lifestyle. I basically, she said she feels good about it. She doesn't have any intention of stopping. She's, feels satisfied with what's happening in her life. And she's losing her eyesight. It's just really sad.
To a dangerous point, right? Her health.
Yeah.
Valerie, would you share what Vera got about her past life that's affecting this current lifetime for her?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you remember, but you had mentioned that she had been in some type of a cult, and she was kind of groomed to be someone who was very passive and said yes to everything. And that has been a big theme in her life. She just always really just is so passive, and anything you ask her to do, she does it. My children call her up and tell her to go to the store. She's on the other side of town, 50 miles away. She runs to the store and gets what they want. She brings it. I mean, it's just incredible, and she doesn't think about herself at all. But I think sometimes, she gets frustrated because she doesn't think about herself.
Right. But that's why there's that health issue, because that's her only control. And that's what makes her feel good, because she has some control.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because that's what that issue is. It's about control. Even though it's hurting them,
right.
It's just like, no, I'm in control, finally, even if it's to their detriment.
Right.
So we can only hope that, something will turn it around.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, because she just definitely said that, she gets a big rush out of, if she goes 2 or 3 days without food and water, the fact that she could do that is just an amazing rush,
What's interesting about this is that something will happen. Well, actually, many things happen in our life.
Wait, can you?
Oh, yes.
I didn't mean to say like I was happy about what you guys are talking about.
Oh, no.
Trevor just is saying, hi, Valerie.
Oh, hi, Trevor. How are you?
Another SBHTC student, and went to Valerie's class.
Yes.
Oh.
So do you have a Trevor story that did you guys do regressions together, or not really? Or
I think that Trevor did one on me.
Really?
Yes, he sure did.
So
I asked about a birthmark during class, and we were doing regressions for practice. And he got me back to past life where I was a soldier. I was a Chinese man, and but I was gay. Like I was actually just me in a man's body. So I was skipping around, picking flowers, and it was terrible. And I had such a nice family. We were kind of isolated, in our little farm. So they didn't bother to make me behave in any certain way.
Oh, that's awesome.
They just loved me, but I had to go out and I was kind of like drafted into the army.
Oh,
I didn't know how to behave with other men. And so the men were just dumbfounded, like, what is this? You remember. And I ended up, my comrades, I was just so, I don't know, girly. I just sat down on a tree and I was like, I'm so tired. I can't. And my comrades were like, let's just leave him. He'll be dead in 20 minutes. And
oh, they were right? Oh, yes. My gosh.
Oh. Yeah, that's how I got my birthmark. Somebody stabbed me in the back.
Oh, got it. No. So did you figure out what your lesson was in that lifetime? What were you there to learn? Or it didn't go that far?
I feel like the lesson was just, I guess being it yourself does sometimes.
That's it right there.
Cost,
Be who you are.
Yes. But I lived a very happy life up until that point, so I guess in that time, I'm going to guess that probably living that 19 or 20 years happy was better than hiding it.
Right.
And another 30 years.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
That's wonderful.
You go, Trevor. That's so good. You guys were a great class. I remember that too. Because there's different classes I remember different ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that, bringing it back to your friend, that a lot of times in our life, even if we don't, maybe if she doesn't believe in past lives right now, things happen in our life chart that we will write to give us a signpost along the way to help ourselves. It could be involving somebody else, like a child or different people, and we want to help them. And in doing so, we get ourselves out of trouble. Or many examples of different ways that we can learn the lessons, like with your friend, that she charted to overcome what she brought from this past life, because obviously she charted a similar type of a situation, whether it's, are the people from the past life too are now, Vera, in this current life with her?
Yes. There's one, her groomer is with her right now. The one that groomed her in that past life is around her all the time.
And that's what, we hopefully at some point, and it's amazing that she charted you.
I know. I think that's fascinating.
I do too, because at some point, it's never too late, even if it's at the end of, towards the end of our, our later years, at the end of our life, if we get it, then even if it's then, that's okay, because we get it. So at some point, if you help her with that information, she might absorb it to some
Plus
level.
She sees how Valerie is. And that's huge. It's more than just talk. It's how the person is. She sees how you are. She sees your life. She sees how you treat people.
And I think that's really important, because when I just wanted to share a personal example, when I was in the most worst relationship in my life, I don't think I can say the A word, right? Can you say abuse now?
Oh, no, you can't.
I didn't say that.
I thought you meant asshole.
Well, anyway.
Cindy's here too.
Oh, good. It's reunion for you guys. Hey. But anyway, I just wanted to share that in that experience, I felt like I was living in like a shadow land. It was awful. No light at all. It was just awful. Land of shadows. And when I saw in that time, my brother's light, it was like, I didn't know how empty I was until I saw how full I once was.
Yeah.
Because I could see from his light. It's like, I wanted to feel that again, because I felt nothing like that anymore.
Yeah.
And just what you just said, your light, Valerie, can pull somebody out of that, even if we don't think so at the time.
Actions speak louder than words.
And it's amazing that your light like that can be a rope that can help somebody pull them out.
And that's very true, Roxanne. She's saying it's like we're walking through this life experience with all these symptoms until we connect to our past life experience to heal and or understand. Yep.
Exactly. And also you
feel better, Cindy.
You had gotten that her friend's theme
is victim.
So that's what we chart to work through. We all chart a few life themes to work through. So this amazing information that you have garnered and what you have within you, Valerie, to help her. It's like, and that's what's so great, that all of us can utilize the information from a soul journey session.
And you know what?
From our soul's journey.
She doesn't really understand. I'm sorry.
To help us now.
I always interrupt.
No, you're great. Go.
What she doesn't realize now is what a strong soul she is to have charted all of this stuff, like the theme of victim. That's challenging in itself. And then to still have that past life carryover is challenging too, but that she wanted to fix in this lifetime. So she put a lot on her plate. And it's no small feat when we come into life anyway.
Right.
And then to add all that stuff. So she doesn't even realize what a strong person she is.
Yes.
And she will eventually, I hope. Yes. I think she will.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you really hit it on the head with the victim theme, because I mean, even just, I helped her get a job and she's like a victim at work. Everybody's picking on her. And I keep saying, just speak up, just say your truth. You don't have to be rude. Just tell them what's going on. But if you just stay silent, then they're going to continue to pick at you. And she just won't.
Well, you know what they did to her in that past life, whenever she would try to stick up for herself, they would put her in a hole in the ground.
Wow.
and keep her there for days and days.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess she's not saying anything.
But like you pointed out, that's how strong she is.
Yeah.
Because she's not just learning this, she's coming up from here to
Yeah.
learn so much.
And coming back in life again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing strength right there. It's like a PhD in power.
There you go.
She'll get there.
I think we have a super chat.
Oh, we do have a
question.
super chat question. Okay. Are you ready, Vera?
Well, we can ask Valerie too. If she picks up anything.
Are you ready, Valerie?
Okay.
All right, here we go. This is from Gersh Sharon. And Gersh is saying, hi, ladies. Do you pick up on an Egyptian past life for me? If not, could I know about the last past life I had before coming into this life?
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, what I pick up, or you want to go first, Valerie?
Well, I'm not psychic, so I have to do a regression for them to pick up anything.
Well, I disagree with you. I think you're psychic too, but I will go. Gersharon or Gersh, you had a past life in Egypt, and actually you were from, I guess they call it a royal court, or I don't know, but she was groomed from birth to be a priestess.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And you were totally loyal, not loyal, how would you say it? I don't know how to say it. Devoted. You were devoted to whatever she was doing with that they picked for her, that occupation, I guess you could call it. So yeah, she was like amazing. You helped so many people. People would like want to go to you. And then there was this one man that came, and he was not from the area. He had just come in. And the minute you guys saw each other, it was instant love. And she's not supposed to get married. She's not supposed to.
Oh, he's a priestess. Yeah.
Oh,
So, wow.
Yeah. So there is the conundrum.
Oh, yeah.
Because she is totally devoted to Isis and, whatever. Yeah. And they did eventually start seeing each other. And every time that you guys would secretly meet, he would bring you this special flower.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's neat. Yeah. I wonder what it was.
I don't know, but it was really pretty. I know that. And it looks purpley, pinky purpley kind of thing. And so you have not met him yet, but you will.
She was just asking that. She was saying, maybe I'll meet him in this life.
Yes, you will.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a good meeting.
And it's going to be the flower. It's going to be kind of like it. I don't know if you can get exactly the same flower, but
my gosh.
You might be able to. It's kind of like this.
Okay, wait.
I don't know how to draw.
Oh, here. Go on here. Let's see.
How do you do it?
So, is he going to give her a flower so she'll know?
I don't know if this is right. And then it has things coming out of it.
Kind of reminds me of a peacock feather.
Kind of like that. Don't look.
Maybe it's one of those flowers of the Nile. I forget what they call it.
I'm afraid to show it.
Don't worry.
It looks like a sperm.
I
don't know how to do it.
Well, now we got to look up images of Egyptian flowers and see what.
I don't know.
There might be something
it has little doohickeys like that.
That looks like.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's a special flower.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, a lily. Oh, it could be.
Oh,
it could be a lily.
If he gives you that flower. But okay, so you were going to say about the flower though. So is he going to give her something, or you're just showing
in this life he's going to give her the same flower?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Oh.
Kind of thing.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Was there any other questions? Let me go look, because I know there was another question, and it was actually from Nana.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, and we got to tell everybody. Okay. So Nana's question, Nana Rosebud, what if your past life? So, okay, Valerie and Vera, here
Valerie
we go.
Gets to go first on this.
What if your past life is in a foreign country? Do you just speak in that country's language?
Well, in past lives, as people experience them, there's a lot of communication, but some of it is just there's a knowing. And then the other is just it's not necessarily spoken language, it's thought that's being transmitted to you. So it doesn't matter what language you may have spoken in a past life. It's the thought is coming to your mind when you're
whatever language
experiencing it. So, and even people that are, are hard of hearing, they don't need to be able to hear to experience a past life. They can actually understand and hear what is being said to them, or what is being the thoughts that's being transmitted to them.
I've done that before, where they just read it and they go into like a trance-like state and give information.
That's cool.
Now, we only did it once though, and it took a long time. It was probably like a 2.5-hour session.
Oh, wow.
But it was so worth it,
Wow.
I had never done that before. I always like to do things I've never done before, but
right.
Yeah. And I've actually, in all the time that I've been doing hypnosis, I've only had about 2 or 3 people that actually spoke the language that they were in the past life and had no clue how to speak a foreign language.
That's cool.
And they were speaking it. And this one guy took it to his professor, his college professor, and he was actually speaking Chinese.
Oh, that's so cool.
But it was a Chinese dialect of the era that he was in.
Oh, that's
I don't know if
so
it was like
neat.
Yeah, because he was like kind of looking it up and was like, no, there's no such language or something. But this professor found the area or something. I can't remember.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the other person was kind of like speaking in tongues.
That's cool.
And that's one with Kathy's sister. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nobody knows who that is. But yeah, and she took it to a university, and they said it was tongues. It was speaking in tongues.
That's very cool.
Yeah. But out of all those,
Yeah.
there's only a handful that you can.
Right.
Yeah, because the rest of the time people say, no, they're speaking a different language. I don't understand it. And then you just tell them, well, you'll be able to understand what they're saying.
Mhm.
And then, and then they do. So
yes, that's really cool.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more to her question now.
Oh.
Nana Rose is also saying,
asking.
but can you do this regression on the soul when the person is not present? It's very interesting.
Yes. Yes.
And that would be a yes.
Well, we've done regressions and I've told you information about your past lives.
Right.
So yes, you can, but it's more powerful whenever you get information yourself, I feel.
Yes.
Because you can go to a psychic and get information about past life, but if you actually experience it, much more powerful, I think.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I felt like when I went through it the first time, it just rocked me to the core, because it opened up a whole lot of things that I had never thought about. I was like, oh my God, I've never really thought about past lives. I've never, and I always thought to myself, why is that God, has favorites? That's what I thought to myself. He chooses some people to be rich, some people to be more beautiful, some people. And so it made everything make sense because I was like, oh, he isn't choosing favorites. We're getting to experience all kinds of things. You can live a life
choose
ugly, beautiful, rich, poor,
Exactly.
So it made a big difference in just how I felt about God himself, because I just felt like, well, why didn't he make me, look like the Queen of Egypt? Or, I just was like, hey,
And
now I know I saw myself, I had been really beautiful, extremely. I mean, I feel I'm attractive in this life, but extremely beautiful in certain lives, and, very rich in other lives. So, and poor. So,
everything. You run the gamut, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
And we find so many answers from why we're going through these things, because maybe we're having closure, we're finishing up from past lives and so forth. So it's just really, I just think so amazingly beneficial to have
But look at
answers
Roxanne.
and feel it. Because when you're in it, when you're having the soul journey session, you can feel the emotions. And I feel like it's another level of healing.
Exactly.
And
Yes,
empowerment.
yes.
Feel it.
And you,
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and because not only, it depends on how you see it. You can see it in a lot of different ways. It can play out like a movie. You could get just a knowing or understanding of something. Maybe you might see slides or pictures of something. It depends on, just how your subconscious presents it. But I mean, you have an understanding of the feeling that when you're witnessing or you're observing this past life, what is happening, how that person actually feels.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of emotion there that you are kind of like letting out. It's freeing,
Yeah. And then in the days and weeks ahead, you get more and more and more information,
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
Roxanne was saying, I woke myself up speaking Hawaiian and I never spoke Hawaiian.
Wow.
That's cool.
That is.
And yes, animals can communicate, Nana Rosebud. Yep. I told you guys about the lawyer story. So
yes. And if you didn't see that video, in a nutshell, it was a lawyer, a gentleman who connected with his pet, his dog.
He came in, his wife wanted him to have a session because he had one with me before and he was not having it. So he just told me, can we just pretend like I'm having a session and just tell her that the tape didn't work? And I go, sure. He goes, we can just talk. And I go, all right. So we were talking, he was asking me questions and he goes, what the heck? He goes, maybe I'll just fall asleep. Go ahead and try it. And then he met his dog that he had when he was a little boy and he bawled through the whole thing. And afterwards he was like, he could not believe it. He was just,
yes.
Yeah.
You have a question?
Your theme is cute and wonderful in this life. Your theme is healer in this life, Mr. Trevor Assman. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah. I call him Teddy Bear.
Oh,
yeah, definitely a big teddy bear.
I bet he's great to hug.
He is. Yes.
Yes.
Great.
I would say a lot of the soul journeys I did, there were a lot of people that connected with animals on the other side.
Yes.
And they really got to see how much the animals really understood. Because, I think a lot of times people just think they just want food, want to go to the bathroom. They don't have any thoughts. But, they're connecting in with us like we connect with them. Oh my
gosh, yes.
And they really love us.
Yeah.
A lot of them journeys. I mean, I had quite a few people who had past lives in India, and they had the cows would come through.
Yes,
like love them.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. So,
and Trevor, your secondary theme is activator.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for super chat. You're so sweet. And thank you, CA. Oh, that's Trevor, Canada.
Oh, got you. Yes, and all, we agree with you. We love her too. Well, I just wanted to remind everybody that later today, we're going to come out with the Angel of the Month video. And this week, we have a special going on that if you purchase any angel print, you will get sent a 10% off discount from one of Vera's either Zoom or in-person soul journey sessions.
Right.
So you can also sign up for a session with Vera on our website at Essie Loves You.
Thank you, Sonol. We love her too.
Yes.
Sonol is saying, I love this guest.
And now,
Nana.
if anyone would like to connect with Valerie, because Valerie, you're doing regressions in your soul journey sessions.
She has a wait list right now. Okay. She has a wait list, guys. So if you want a session with Valerie, could either behavior modification or past life. Sammy, we're going to email Sammy and you can be put on the list. You have your name and phone number. And Sammy is Sammy at SE loves you, and that would be a U, not the YOU.com.
And Valerie, you're in
Atlanta.
Yes. So might be a lot of people in the general area.
Yeah. Or do you do Zoom ones too, or just in person?
I have done some Zoom ones.
Well, then it doesn't have to be in the area.
Perfect.
Yay. All right. Perfect. Hi, Eric.
Oh, Eric's asking if I've always had trouble connecting and letting people love me in relationships. Was there a past life that is affecting me in romantic relationships now?
Well, yes, there is. There's two of them, but one I get like a this is Eric. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Yeah. So it's great to be able to connect with your clients, right, Valerie? Whether it's in person or online. And that's one of the things with the COVID years that's really increased a lot more people that can't be there in person because of obvious reasons.
Yes. So you have to get creative,
Exactly.
Yeah. I think a lot of people learned that you can do it online with folks.
Exactly.
A lot of stipulations that have to happen, but it definitely can be done.
Yeah. I'm trying to think because I have family that's in like the Nashville area. And I know that's not in Georgia, but I do have a cousin in the Atlanta area too. Actually, I have a lot of cousins, big family area. Yeah. Okay, she's working on this right now. So let's see.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so you had two lives that most affect this one. You've had other ones, of course, but there's one, it's like Tahitian or Polynesian, I'm not sure, but I know it's Hawaii area. And you were a healer in that past life. It was a long time ago, but you were such a caring soul and so charismatic. You had all of these women falling in love with you. So it was something like you were so committed to what you were doing. And it wasn't like you couldn't have a wife or anything like that. It's just that you were so committed to what you were doing. And then you were grooming. Is that how you say it? I shouldn't say grooming because we used that before bad.
Training
somebody else to take your place. Because you do that as a young child. He had a young child that he was taking care of. So finally, he just like moved away to where it was more remote.
I see.
Yeah. And then he would just come down once in a while if somebody needed him and then go right back because he didn't want all this attention. What you could do in this lifetime, just realize that that's not going to happen in this life. It's not going to interfere with your career or your passion because that's what you thought it would do in that past life. So just release that and let it go and just say, I'm open to relationships because you closed yourself off. It was like, can't do it. And then in the roaring 20s, you got shot because this man thought you were after his wife and you weren't. Wow. But she wanted him to think it was you, but it was somebody else. She didn't. Yeah.
Eric's like, thanks a lot.
Yeah. So did you kind of have that too going? So it was like, enough with
I see. No wonder.
So just this lifetime that won't happen. Wow. So just take a breath. Yeah.
And see, that's the amazing thing about the cell memory that we can carry with us. But the answers really can help us to start to dissolve those blocks. Yeah,
because you have so much love in there, Eric. You've got to be able to just be open and just trust.
Yes. I think that we all can write a very
that's very true. That's very true.
Featuring all of our past lives. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
I mean, it's so amazing because when you are, listening to the person express what's happening what they're observing, when it's happening, you're thinking maybe it's going to go this way, but it just goes a totally different direction than you think it will. I mean, it's just you can't, it's kind of like the saying, you just can't, write the stuff. I mean, it's just so amazing.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head. Yeah.
Really,
and then Eric is doing spiritual work in this life. So what do you think? That
yeah,
cell memory. Yeah.
No.
We can't write this stuff though.
No.
Our lives.
I had a lady that came to me.
We can.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. We can write a movie, make a movie.
It's like we write the chart.
Yeah.
I had a lady that came to me that had a phobia of the supermarket. And I was thinking, supermarket, this is wow. Okay. So, and she did a soul journey. And what she found was she was a princess, and they had a war in her kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like almost like the sole survivor. She comes out of the palace and everybody is dead. Everybody is dead. And so I guess what she found was that like the body parts and the things that she had seen looked like pieces of chicken.
Got it.
And cut up stuff so she couldn't go into the supermarket because she feared all the cut up meat she just never could do it. So her husband had been going to the supermarket for years. But after she did her regression, she was able to go in. She said, I still don't like the meat department, but I can handle it.
That's awesome. That's what you do.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes.
I mean, how rewarding is it for you both to see the transformation for your clients, to be able to overcome and heal that part that they've lived?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thanks and all. This group does rock. You guys are amazing.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. And Valerie, it was wonderful to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We have to do it again someday.
Yes,
definitely.
And for our soul tribe, thank you for being here. If you know anyone that would be interested in past lives and angels and all the information we share, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
That would be it.
And many blessings.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye, Trevor. Bye, Cindy. Bye, everybody. Bye, Valerie. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hard to leave. Yeah.